Don't mind me, this is just my latest lip oil addiction because I have a problem. But if you were looking for a drugstore lip oil that reminds you of the Clarins one that isn't as sticky and in my honest opinion smells better, Milani just released a new lip oil called Fruit Fetish, and they come in a bunch of different light tints and scents, and this one's strawberry melon. Anyway, I thought it was on theme for today's color palette. We'll get into that. But first, let us day drink. I would normally be drinking at 3:30 p.m., but today has been a day. It's been a day for the last couple of days. Nothing really personal, just a little bit more professional. Not going too deeply into it because nothing has really been finalized yet, but we've been going through a little bit of agency drama. A lot of things are up in the air right now. The good news is that neither of us are being let go. However, there are going to be some changes soon and we have to make some decisions. So we brought up the tequila. I'm sure in the end it's all going to be fine and this is just going to be a small blip and we haven't decided what we're going to do yet. Either way, it's gonna be hard. And I really just need to chill the f out. So we are going to get on camera and play with some makeup. Gosh darn it. My day is going to be considerably improved just by hanging out with you all, so thanks for being here. Also, thank you for all of the love on the last video. If you haven't seen it yet, I will link it up here. It did really well. I was not expecting it to be the best performing video on my channel since my return, but y'all came out in full force, so thank you. I think we're gonna have another fun one today. I know I promised that the next video we were going to get into the Serenity palette by Cosmic Brushes. I promise we will. We will eventually review this palette. We will do a full series on it. It will be a palette potential and it is coming, I promise. But I got sent something else. It's a bit of a detour for this channel, but not quite. We're still going to be playing with makeup today, but it is going to be centered around something from my friend Kellen, who just so happens to work for Juliette Has a Gun. And if you don't know that brand by their name, they are a perfumery. I don't really know what the technical term is for a company that makes scents, but Juliette Has a Gun has been doing it for a long time now. And if you don't know this, I am a perfume whore. Far and away, one of my favorite compliments to receive when someone goes in for a hug and they just say, "Oh my God, you smell so good." That kind of compliment is the pinnacle for me. On occasion, Juliette Has a Gun will send something my way, and I typically don't make content around it except for maybe to share it on my stories. But the explicit instructions I received from my friend was get out all your red makeup. So that is the only insight I have to this mysterious package. And you know me, I love a good monochromatic moment. Let's just walk into this mysterious experience together, open this package, see what's inside, and do a shop my stash to create a look around what's in this box. And I think that's all I really have to say, so why don't we just get on into it, grab a snack, grab a drink, alcoholic or otherwise, depending on how your day is going. And let's get started. Also, if you're wondering like what the heck this shirt situation is, Kellen was very adamant about the red theme, and so I went, sure, no problem, let me just grab a red shirt. Apparently the only red thing in my closet that wasn't burgundy is this random ass Felix the Cat shirt that I have. And the other morning I just decided to cut the neck off and turn it into a little off the shoulder flash dance fantasy. I kind of love it. Anyway, enough about my DIY shirt. Let's unbox this, shall we? I actually have no idea what's in here. All he told me was to get out all of my red makeup, and that is all I know. So let's do this. You really wanted to make sure this is airtight, huh? Oh, what do we have here? This looks like a fancy package. Wait, this is like a proper PR package. I will be honest with you, a lot of the scents from Juliette Has a Gun are quite strong in nature. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a strong scent, but I still have yet to find the one from this specific brand that I vibe with. Oh, are you kidding me? To Madeline, XOXO Juliette. Thank you. Word from the creator. Sorry, let me get on my voiceover voice. For this new creation, I wanted to reconnect with Juliette's essence. Juliette stands as a symbol of confident complexity, of proud insubordination. This new fragrance with notes of dark cherry, pink pepper, and jasmine absolute invites us to follow her captivating footsteps. Okay. Oh, it looks like they set me up with some hand cream as well, and what looks like a travel size of this scent, along with what I believe to be the full-size bottle. Okay, so that's extremely generous, and first of all, thank you, Juliette. I just only hope that I like it. This is just all too sophisticated for the debauchery that happens on this channel. Okay, all right, so this is hefty. Made in France. This is a full glass component, like, You could do some wicked ASMR with this. I'm starting to feel a little bit foolish sitting here in my ripped up t-shirt. Top notes, dark cherry, pink berry. Heart notes, jasmine absolute, and cashmere. Bottom notes are tonka bean and ambroxan. Okay, this sounds like it's gonna be up my alley. I mean, I get the cherry right off the top. Let's just give her a whirl. Oh. You know what it reminds me of right away is Versace Blue. It's a very clean scent. It's got some murmurs of that floral note from the jasmine. I was definitely worried that this was going to be way too intense. And I'm wondering if I'm gonna get the cherry in just a second. It's very floral. So when they told me get out all your red makeup, I had this inclination that it was going to be cherry focused, which this does say it has notes of dark cherry. But the thing that I'm getting the most of is that jasmine, but I'm excited to see how this develops over the course of our filming. It's absolutely not too cloying and it doesn't hit you in the face with that kind of harsh alcohol note, which I have experienced from Juliette previously. But this dark cherry red is definitely not what I was anticipating. So if we're going for dark cherry, I might have to do a wardrobe change. I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
There we go. Okay. Still not getting many of those dark cherry notes, but hopefully they develop. If you love jasmine and you love floral, this is a perfume for you. She's a very womanly scent. Now that I know the color palette and the vibe a little bit better, why don't we go searching for some makeup? So I will pass this over to Handheld Maddie and we will reconvene. Hi. Okay, we're doing it in a landscape mode this time because on this channel we learn from our mistakes. Okay, let's go pull some makeup. So I already have my base products all picked out, so most of this is going to be blush, highlight, lips, and eyeshadow that we're looking for. So let's start with the blush, which is, I think, going to be an integral part of this look, don't you? And a red look would not be complete without Daquiri Dip. I heckin' love this cream blush. This color, it is perfection. I immediately thought of this when they told me to get out all of my red makeup, so this is going in. I'll probably want a powder blush to deepen things up, and because we are going to be working with deeper reds as well as brighter reds, so what I'm gonna do is get out Old Faithful here. This is the Clown Blush palette from Likely Makeup. A fave, a classic. Highlight is a bit of an interesting one. I think I might grab one of these to throw on my Beige. This is the Incandescent from Unearthly Cosmetics. These are great body highlighters. This is in the shade Gilded. I'll grab both of these just in case. I think I will grab Star Surfer as our highlight. This is also pretty cute. Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter. I got this 1,001 years ago, it feels like. Okay, this will be fun. All right. I think I want to do a really dark, deep liner and then do a glossy cherry red in the center. Of course, the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat in Hot Cherry will probably play a pivotal role in this lip combination. Okay, deep red liners. Let's grab this in Strawberry Milk. I love this in the waterline. Oh, that might work. This would be perfection. So when it comes to palettes, I have a couple of instincts. We got a nice transitional red in there. Amanita from the Likely Makeup Ugly palette. Enchantress might work. Okay, I don't know why, but this is actually more of a struggle bus than I thought it would be. A bit too rose, although this top is looking cute in this little mirror. Okay, I know what won't steer me wrong. Here we go. Absolutely. Aha! I haven't pulled this out in a grip. And also, I'm an idiot. How could I forget? We were literally just talking about this the other day. It is already way too hot in here, but we have our makeup. We have the will to carry on. Let's just start slapping it on and see what happens. Oh, this is not supposed to be in frame. Excuse me, sir. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh my God. So literally every time I thought I didn't have the right eyeshadow. Well, folks, we have our work cut out for us today. Too many reds to even possibly choose. I know exactly what I want to put on the lid though. Cherry on top is, oh my God, just wait. If you haven't seen me play with this palette yet, I will link that video up here. So I'm gonna do my very best to get out my little creative brain, try and think outside the bun. Let's just get started. It is warm in here and I'm starting to feel it. Now that the scent is warmed up to my skin, I'm definitely smelling a lot more of that dark cherry, a little bit of amber. This is your reminder to take a drink of water. Unless you've had an entire gallon in one day, you don't not need water. All right, I think we're finally ready to do the dang thing. Let's zoom in a tiny bit and we'll get started. My best Sophia Nygaard. All right, I'm gonna do a very similar base as the last video because I more or less shit the bed on sharing that with you all. So let's see if I can recreate the magic. Also, if you hear a clunk every now and then, it is just the sound of the elevators in their shafts doing God knows what. And this totally isn't alarming in any way, but our elevators have been going through it. So it often sounds like someone is just throwing furniture around. Let's slap on some face. We'll do the usual 1-2 punch with some yummy skin. A couple of drops of the Rituel de Fille Weightless Serum. And we're just gonna slap that on. Hit the ears a little bit because they get really red, okay? You know what? It happens. Also, I feel like when I combine these two products, it's just a nice sheer coverage, but it doesn't slip around, you know? It's like the addition of that serum kind of really adheres all of this to the skin. Going with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, I just want a little bit more brightness than what the Flower Beauty does. Cover up all this lovely adult acne I've been getting, though my skin seems to have calmed down ever so slightly in the last few days. I eliminated one product from my lineup as far as skincare goes, trying to determine which of the products that I'm using might be the culprit. Let's just tap you in. Today has already felt like such a huge ass day. Also this morning, my friend came over before a really exciting interview that he was having this afternoon. And it was just super exciting because this job would be perfect for him. It is a job in theater and it would just be such a great move career-wise for him. Also, when I noticed that they were looking for applicants and I went to them and I was like, I don't know what kind of sway I have or if this is even appropriate, but I just need to recommend my friend. And I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but he finally got an interview for the position, like his first interview for the company, and I'm just really excited for him. I know he sometimes watches my channel, so hi, if you're watching, I love you and I'm so proud of you. Going in with a little bit of bronzer. I really want the nose to be cute today, so we're gonna do a little extra contouring. Not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit. The Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick, I'm just honestly kind of endlessly impressed by its formula. It just blends so beautifully. So my friend's job interview coupled with the 2 meetings I had today, one in person and one over Zoom. Daniel and I are with the same agency. Like we were just kind of finding our footing and suddenly things have changed. We definitely have some choices to make and I'm gonna tell you they're not easy choices. We are definitely feeling very conflicted, but I really hope that there will be no ill will with whatever choice we make. I don't wanna make enemies and I don't wanna burn bridges. I know I'm being very cryptic right now, but that's just because like we haven't made a decision. And also I do not know if this is interesting in any way, shape or form to you all. Oh my god, look at this skin. Also, I just realized that these scabs could probably do with a little bit of coverage right now. Please ignore the state of my chest. I just decided as a very large-chested woman to take up running. So do not be alarmed. It is literally just my sports bra having a hard time with my anatomy. That's a little better. And right now I'm currently having a sports bra crisis, which for anyone above a double D cup can probably relate to. Seeing as the only sports bra that was heavy duty enough to withstand gravity and friction that actually went all the way up to my cup size, they discontinued. But when that one's in the wash, I don't really have a choice but to go with the one that gives me scabs. Like, does it hold the girls? Yes. Do I get maimed in the process? Also yes. So if anyone out there watching has a lead on a heavy duty sports bra that goes all the way to a 36G, drop it in the comments. Also, this blush has been through the mill with me. Oh my god, I'm actually quite sad to look at it because it is so gross. I used that blush for my makeup in Cabaret, which ended up kind of being the makeup design template for most of the Kit Kat Club. And of course, it being me, it involved a lot of blush. So for today, I really wanted to incorporate this into the look in a very heavy-handed sort of way. But even though it's been through the ringer, I mean, look at this. How stunning is that? Yeah, let's take that onto the nose. There was this contestant on Love Island USA, what a reference, but her blush game was on lock. Every time she was on screen, I would obsess over her blush. It just always looked so gorgeous and flushed and youthful and glowy. She just was stunning. I mean, it doesn't hurt when you're also, you know, like a model. I'm gonna take that slightly into the forehead as well. Not like a lot. I don't want this to turn into like clown, but I kind of want to do a little overall blush and then powder over it and see what we get. Let's just throw on a little powder under the eyes. around the nose. The jawline. You see I'm trying to avoid this cheek area just to try and maintain some of that glow. Also just a tiny bit where the bronzer is gonna go. Literally just leaving this one section. So in the last video, we were showcasing a lot of Melt products. So just to stay on theme, I thought I would pull out the Melt Sculpt Stack, which I don't often pick up, and I don't know why, because honestly, this looked like magic. I take a combination of the two lighter shades, literally just tapping into one and tapping into the other, and then just slapping it on, really. Using a really light hand and swift motions up. And I just really like the combination of tones. I always start a little bit too heavy and then I layer on some blush to kind of soften that transition a bit. And then for my chin and neck area, I actually only go in with the cooler tone, which just looks more like a shadow. But I don't take that all the way down the neck. In fact, I actually go down the hollows on the sides and leave the front. And then I'll take some powder foundation to kind of reinforce underneath that contour. We're not necessarily cutting it, but we are kind of giving it a lift with that lighter shade underneath. And then also sometimes I'll just like kind of fluff it in case we went a bit too ham. I also like to do this on the center of the forehead just to kind of like brighten the center back up a bit more. I also will use this just in the under eye, mostly on the inside near the tear duct. I'm gonna take Daquiri Dip again. I need my emotional support towel, hold on. Does anyone else have an emotional support towel? You know, that tea towel that, you know, if you're eating on the couch, you just kind of like flop onto your chest just to catch any bits. Daniel likes to call it my emotional support towel. It just gives me a sense of security, you know? Anyway, oh my God. Lightly tapping into Daquiri Dip again, and we're just going to amp it up ever so slightly just in the center. And I think that is the magic of this combination, is that we're picking and choosing where the light is going to catch. Isn't that just stunning? I'm just such a sucker for a cherry red blush. And not using too heavy a hand, I think I want to take the barest hint of Morticia here from the Hauntingly Glamorous palette. If you haven't seen me play with that one, it's a great Halloween casual video. I will link it up here. I think I'm wearing literally the exact same outfit in said video. But I'm going to take the barest hint of it and just ever so slightly beef up that nose blush. Oh yeah, that's cute. We are in an excellent place for a base right now, so I'm going to pop off camera for a quick sec, magically materialize some eyebrows out of thin air, and when we get back, we will get into the eyeshadow. We're back. I shit you not, this might dethrone the NYX Fat Oil, like altogether. Like, why doesn't a $36 lip oil feel like this?
I love lip oils.
Here's what I want to do. I want to see first what happens if I take Morticia first, use that as a transition. And if I want something a little bit brighter, I'll just go in with the red in the Ugly palette. But for now, let's just start with this. Oh my God, I almost forgot. We're gonna need a little bit of eyeshadow primer. So someone in the comments actually asked me if I would do a rundown of eyeshadow primers that I use, which is an excellent idea if it weren't the truth that this is truly one of the only eyeshadow bases that I regularly use. I repurchase the Urban Decay Primer Potion in Eden time after time after time because I know that it is one, easily accessible for me living in Canada. I can pick it up at Sephora. I don't have to pay duties and taxes on a base product that I regularly have to replenish. And two, is just the most consistent. Do I sometimes have problems with my eyeshadow base? Absolutely. However, in the grand scheme of things, it has been very consistent and performs adequately across the board as terms of texture and the way that most matte eyeshadow formulas adhere to it. I've just never really had a huge problem with it, and so I've just stuck with it for years. I think I've used the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer before, which did not work for me. It was way too stiff and left my eyelids super textured. And I wish I had more expertise to share with you in this facet of makeup, but that's really all I know. And I don't know if it's gonna work for everyone, but it's always worked for me. I've gone through different methods methods of application. I've used sponges, brushes, and nowadays I just slap it on with my fingers. It gives me the most control over the product. Oh, this is a really pretty red. It's like very cherry red, which is on theme. So I hope that answers your question. I know that wasn't very satisfying of an answer, but with certain products, I don't really like to take risks. There are certain kinds of products that I will try a variety of different kinds, and I will hop from brand to brand and switch it up every now and again. I have found though, with most matte eyeshadow formulas, the primer potion works great. If that is any consolation, it almost ends up being kind of my control group, as it were. Like, I know how this base works with my favorite eyeshadow formulas. So if I'm testing out a new brand that I've never used before, knowing that the base that I use generally works with most eyeshadows that I like, it kind of gives me a good indication of whether or not I'm going to reach for that palette. Yeah, sure, maybe if I had a couple of eyeshadow bases that I could toggle back and forth with, maybe some that worked better for certain eyeshadow formulas. Like if I had the wherewithal, I could really min-max my makeup collection and give every eyeshadow formula a fighting chance. I'm sure there are creators out there who could answer that question for you. I'm sure a very informative video that has that exact information exists on YouTube already. I can almost guarantee it. I think just to add a little bit more warmth to this red, I am gonna go in with Amanita just to beef up that undertone of warmth and add a little hint of orange into the mix. Live, laugh, loving that. Put a pin in the eyeshadow primer discussion. I will get back to that once we add shimmers to this look, because that is a whole other kettle of fish. We can go in Vampira next. I almost want to blend those two reds together on the brush first. That's pretty delightful. Just taking a bit more of that Amanita shade and dragging that a little farther out. I'm gonna take a clean brush, just run that around the top edge here. I mean, this is kind of fierce though. Let's deepen it up. Let's go in first with Sangre, and then we are going to beef it up with Velorio. These two aren't really jiving. That's not so bad actually. Just a little nervous for a second there. Now we're really getting into vamp territory. Full disclosure, this melt palette is a few years on, so this formula is probably just not as fresh as it once was, you know? There's no mold in it, it doesn't really smell funny, so I'm not like concerned about it. But, you know, as they age, eyeshadows will perform differently over time. So it might just require a tiny bit more TLC, a little bit more hand holding. The result is still stunning. We're gonna do one more step down with the deepest red in the Muerte palette. Like, it's almost black. If you were actually recreating this look and you were in a rush, you could skip this step, which is actually something that at least one of my subscribers on the record has done. If you recreate any of my looks, please, if you ever post them, tag me in your posts. Even if you don't want to share them publicly, please like drop them in my DMs. I would love to see them. I should do like a recreation segment on the channel. Like if anyone felt up to it and wanted to share a look that they recreated from one of my videos, I would love to put that in a video. Eyebrow pencil on deck for when the inevitable brow erasure occurs. Okay, remember that pin that I told you to put in the primer conversation. Take it back out. So if we're talking about matte eyeshadow primers, I really only stick to one. If we're talking about shimmer primers, well, that's a horse of a different color. I do believe that most shimmer, metallic, or glitter eyeshadow formulas could always benefit from what is commonly called a glitter primer or a glitter glue. Like, sure, if you're using an actual loose glitter, that would probably probably require an adhesive that's a little bit stronger than this, although in a pinch, this would also work with loose glitter. What I'm talking about is a tacky eyeshadow primer, like something with a lot of grip to it. For instance, this is the Unearthly Cosmetics Glimmer Grasp. This is their version of a NYX glitter glue, which is also something that I love using, and it's great because you can get it at the drugstore. But if you want to support an indie brand, I definitely recommend this one. So I like to put a bit on the back of my hand and then tap it out until you start to see these little peaks forming. So something like this still has viscosity to it. It's not like using eyelash glue on your eyelid, which can be really uncomfortable and can end up creating a lot of texture. Something like this, when used sparingly just on the lid, I won't emphasize texture at all, but it'll just create a really nice tacky base for your metallic or glitter or shimmer to adhere to. And I like tapping this on with my finger as well. It just allows me to feel just how tacky the lid becomes. And I kind of stop working it in once I feel my finger kind of stick the lid. You don't need a lot. And then just tapping it until I see that my finger has a hard time letting go of the lid. And that's when you know it is at maximum tack. And it doesn't need to be an ultra glittery formula for this to work. You can use this with any kind of shimmer eyeshadow formula. And you just kind of press and pat it in to the area that you laid down that primer. You can use glitter primers to cut a crease as well. I just haven't cut a crease in a hot minute. Some people prefer using concealers to cut a crease. Something like a concealer will have a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Liquidity? You know what I'm talking about. Concealers, they be wetter. And sometimes that can help cut a crease because it's easier to draw a more defined edge using something that isn't so tacky and sticky. But you're not going to get the same shine and color payoff with a concealer as you will with a glitter primer. Case in point, I know I've been yammering away, but oh, this is Cherry on Top from the Strawberry Milkshake palette. This is an Unearthly Cosmetics classic. Let's grab Enchantress from the Arcana palette. Another classic. I think it'll help us blend these two areas together. That helps a lot, actually. Palette number 5001 that we've used today. I need something lighter, and I just don't know what. Oh God. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm scared of this. However, oh my God, this is already a mistake. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that was a mistake. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. Put this, oh no, oh my God, oh my God. Stop it, no, oh my God. Sorry about that, folks. Just had to go and touch grass for a minute there. I made a critical error just now. I decided, why the hell not? This couldn't possibly backfire on me. I'm so afraid to even hold it up. And if you're like,
Maddie, why the hell have you not put this on the channel yet?
This palette has basically more or less disintegrated. Several shades arrived broken. In order for a shimmer to get a really good reflect, not pressing it as hard in the pan will often give you a much better finish. However, in transit, it is a different story. I did my best to repress them. Again, they fell apart. So I've just kind of hid this away in the hopes that maybe one day I'll fix it somehow so I can at least use the damn thing. But here's the thing, every time I open it, a cloud of glitter just erupts. There is suddenly glitter everywhere. My whole studio now just looks as if there was a giant fairy orgy. The shade that I was planning on maybe just dipping my finger in just like ever so slightly, just to just have a little taste, you know, just a little morsel of it. That one is now just dust, loose pigment, and all of that Dante's Inferno is barely contained by this palette and the sleeve. So I think we're just gonna put it back in its little corner, never to be seen or spoken of ever again. And of course, I'm now covered in glitter. Can you just tell how much fun I'm having right now? I'm just having so much fun. We've upgraded to mezcal. Didn't think I was gonna pull this out today, but let's just do it. Let's pop into I'm Flying, because I don't know, it might be the move. Let's see. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I think I'm okay with that. I'm gonna take that clean brush and just like give this a little bit of a scrub around. I'm just gonna take a little bit of some of those lighter red shades we were using. Let's go back into that deepest shade in the Melt palette. Just give that a little blend. We're getting somewhere. I think I just need to add a liner. I'm gonna take the darkest shade in the Muerte palette, the Velorio, and just start wiggling that into the lash line. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this highlighter from Physicians Formula, and I'm just gonna pop that into the inner corner. Do I want to put this in the brow bone? Inner corner flick. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Black Orb kohl liner in the shade Iron. Try and put that in the waterline. I do want to brighten the center though of the waterline with a little bit of Strawberry Milk just underneath the iris kind of portion. And it just adds like a little pop of brightness. Okay, I'm back on board. Let's take a break, throw on some lashes. Off camera, you're not coming with me. Take a little break, and when we get back, we will finish the rest of the look. I decided to forego a big honkin' lash just because I think the movement of this eye look is more upswept. Yanked out this half lash that I made out of a pair of Likely lashes. These are in the style Sleepy Starlet. Also because that kohl liner wasn't really sticking in the waterline for me, I'm just gonna add something that I know will stay. This is the Pure On Point eyeliner in Down to Earth. And I know that's not going to go anywhere. Okay, moving on to a cheek situation. I do think I want to deepen up the blush a little bit. The glow is lovely, but I think it is being dwarfed by this, which is interesting because the last video we did a very similar situation with a very dramatic eye with a very minimal cheek look, but it just seemed to work better than this. So I'm going to take the barest hint of Circus and just kind of beef that up at the top there. Not a lot. I say that now. For highlight, I definitely want to first go in with Star Surfer. I wanted to avoid this becoming a pink and red look, even though pink and red just look so good together. But it just wasn't really the vibe I wanted. I didn't want this to turn into like a Valentine's Day look. I'm actually gonna take a tiny bit of Amanita and kind of bounce that into the blush as well. And yeah, it's a lot of blush. I mean, are we surprised? But I still wanted to have that sophisticated feeling, which I don't know if that ship has sailed yet, but I'm gonna tap into this really lightly. Just to kind of make it less pink. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
It's going.
It's very red.
Ding, ding, ding. It's kind of the idea.
But Valentine's Day was like 2 months ago.
Listen, I don't want to hear it. She's looking a little Valentine's-y. That is true. But I think this lip combination will ground this a little bit more. First things first, a really deep, dark red lip liner. This one's by ColourPop. It's probably been discontinued. And in any case, it's not my favorite formula. It's very creamy, which means that it is incredibly hard to control. I'm gonna try and blend it out with a little brush. Oh, see that? It's already bleeding. Lip liners are supposed to prevent mess, not create them. It's giving Bratz doll. Moving on, let's use this Buxom Powerline plumping lip liner in a more cherry red. I think the shade is actually called Real Red. And I'm just gonna use that to fill this in. I'm gonna take a little bit of these two shades here. It's very much giving Morphine Love Dion, which we are not mad at. God, that bitch can wear makeup. Yeah, that works in a pinch. I think I just need a bit more red in the eyeshadow. Let's spray her down before I add any gloss. Oh, that bottle's done. I have a backup. Fear not. The MVP of all plumping glosses in the best shade ever invented. This is what I wanted on the eye. I'm not usually bummed out at the end of a video, but this kind of missed the mark for me. Just too much pink. Let me think about that while I put on some body highlight. Because if there's one thing that'll make everything feel better, you can't even see it, but like this stuff on the body looks amazing. In person, you can absolutely, totally, 100% see it. Well, the lip definitely turned out exactly the way I wanted it to. Maybe I can just give them this. Maybe I can just give them photos of like just this. Science fiction, double feature. Portrait of a disappointed makeup YouTuber. Well folks, after 50 shades of red, at least 7 different eyeshadow palettes, I finished this video feeling like I kind of missed the mark. My folly being that I was working primarily with just reds, which if blended out onto my skin tone, turn into pink. And I guess I don't think I realized that this lip combination was going to pull a lot warmer than what's going on in the eyeshadow. In hindsight, what I could have done is beef up that more orangey undertone. I just didn't want it to skew orange and red as a combination because we were trying to go for more Morphine Love Dion than say Tina Burner. I do think that the look is pretty and I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination. I just feel like it's not the right vibe for what this is giving us. This is the color story I wanted to live on the eyes. And that's okay, sometimes we swing big and we miss. Luckily, they are not actually paying me to make this content. This is not sponsored by them. This was just a very kind gift, which I truly appreciate. And we tried to have a little fun with it. Is it exactly the way I wanted it to turn out? No. But I do appreciate Juliette has again for sending this my way and for letting me draw some inspiration from it. And in the end, I do think I still look pretty fine. At least there's that. And I hope you enjoyed this video as well, even though it was not the resounding success I was hoping it to be. And they can't all be winners. And you know what? That's life. But I would love to know what you all think of this Shop My Stash and taking inspiration from perfume bottles. And also I'd love to know your thoughts if you thought I whiffed it or if you think I'm being too hard on myself. Do you think we got a little closer than what I am feeling inside right now? We are our own worst critics after all. And I'm sure some of you will tell me that I'm being a bit of a doofus. But yes, for those of you who are asking, Cosmic Brushes will be the next video. I believe we are going to tackle a palette potential. Look out for that. In the meantime, I'm going to love you and leave you and finish the rest of this mezcal and go wash my face and eat some leftover risotto. But before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a big thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is crucial to its success in the algorithm, so if you have a few spare seconds, please engage with this video. I am almost at the point where I can remonetize my channel, so just please keep them views coming. You can follow me on Instagram. I will leave that right there. And go smell something nice. Light a candle. Ooh, here's one. Sometimes before bed and after all my skincare, I like to spray a little bit of my favorite perfume. And with that, folks, please stay safe, wash your hands, stay fresh, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.